AITA for telling my dad I'm not sure I can get past this and forgive him and that he can never take back what he said? I, 16M, need to start out with the rough stuff first. Back in August my dad lost his temper in a big way with me because I told his wife she isn't my mom and she'll never be my mom, so she needs to stop trying. It upset her because she's tried and been nice about it and she wants me to embrace her as more than I have. Dad confronted me and said I made her cry and made her question if their marriage was worth all this. He accused me of leading my younger siblings, 14F, 13M, in rejecting her too. We argued back and forth and I told him he should be okay with me accepting her as his wife instead of as my parent or my second mom. I told him she's not and she never will be. I said nobody could replace my mom and she's the only one I have. And I have one mom and one dad and I never want to change that. He lost it right there and he told me he guessed it meant he was nothing, so since he wasn't even my biological father and that since DNA meant so much I should go look for the rapist who made me. I never knew he wasn't my biological father until that moment. And I had no idea my mom had ever been roped. I knew mom got pregnant with me before they were married, but the rest was news to me. I felt sick and hurt and disgusting, and I was also kinda angry that he chose to do that to me on his wife's behalf. It also felt like a betrayal to my mom the way he did it. And I ran out of the house and I went to my grandparents. I stayed with them that night and told them what happened the next morning. I told them I couldn't go back to dad and I couldn't deal with talking it out with him. They talked to him for me. He apologized and he wanted to talk, but I couldn't, and after what was almost a fight they convinced him to let me move in with them. I did talk to my younger siblings and told them we'd talk about why it happened later. I told them I was sorry to leave them behind, but I couldn't come back. My grandparents helped me get therapy and supported me. They were my soft place to land. And they had me wait to look up the rope stuff until I could be with my therapist for a bit. But I looked up my mom's case since then. My dad called every day, he came to the house, he tried to talk. It was weeks. November actually. When we finally talked at first. He apologized to me repeatedly and he said he should never have said it, he would never do something like that again, and I'm his son, he loves me. He told me he knows I felt extra betrayed because of why we started fighting, and he told me his wife doesn't even know. He said he and mom only told his family but nobody else. He said they always planned on telling me, but then she died and he didn't have the heart to do it. He's still trying really hard to get us back on track and he's been in a couple of therapy sessions with me. I see my siblings all the time. They hate me being gone, but now they know what happened and why, and they just want me to be okay. Nothing has changed for us. Dad's wife is still in the dark and his marriage is crumbling. She knows she's being kept in the dark about something and I didn't give dad the okay to tell her so, and she feels being in the dark when she has 2 kids with dad, 5 and 2, is wrong. Apparently he's mostly focused on me, my siblings said, so that's another issue. Dad and I talked again, just us, a while ago, and he asked me if I could ever get past this and forgive him. I told him I wasn't sure and that even if we can make progress he can never take back what he said, and I'll always remember how he did it. I told him in that moment he stopped caring about me and only cared about her, and that wasn't easy for me. Dad said he understood and he would do everything he could to try and support me through it. He left crying, and a couple of days later I heard my grandma talk to his wife and there was yelling, and I guess his wife blames me for upsetting dad when I already made stuff difficult enough. She still doesn't know. She just knows I had to be the reason he was crying. She told grandma he was throwing her and their kids away from me and I couldn't even help save our family. My grandma hated hearing it. AITA?